Verse 115. The fruit of the stream-entered, and that of the ones to come, the fruit of the not-to-come and Arhatship, all these are due to mental perturbation. The fruit of the stream-entered, and that of the ones returning, and that of the never returning and Arhatship, these are the bewildered states of mind. I began looking at this verse in the previous video, so if you haven't listened to that one, I suggest you do so before this one. A lecturer that I know made a comment about my stuff, about how he doesn't understand it. I've got a great deal of respect for this lecturer. He's a very perceptive, intelligent and clever fellow. And it's a bit disappointing that he can't connect with what I'm saying. I don't know how much effort he's made, but I know most people won't be able to connect with what I'm saying, which is a bit disappointing. Most Buddhists won't be able to connect with what I'm saying, and I suspect they might even be quite offended by what I'm saying. But that's okay, because this is a Zen course, and Zen tends to make some very offensive comments. Offensive to Buddhists, that is. There was one comment I read in a Zen text as I was browsing online about how the Zen master referred to the scriptures as no more than used toilet paper. It's quite a graphic image. But the point is, we shouldn't be looking in these texts. We shouldn't be looking anywhere for what in the previous verse is described as mind only. We look to our own sense of being. So that graphic image is quite repellent, and it might shove us back to our own sense of being, because this is where we have to look. I wish it wasn't so tricky for most people to see this or to get this. It's so obvious, it seems so obvious to me, and perhaps to others, what these texts are saying. People would much rather stick with definite formulas, whether it's the 3 trainings, the 8-fold path, the bhumis. We were given a path in the previous video of meditation through the jhanas, the immeasurables, the brahma viharas, the no-form samadhis and thought cessation. Surely this will take us to enlightenment. After all, Buddhist meditators spend their whole lives doing this thing, but we're told these are not at all found in mind only. And here we have another glorious path laid out to us in Buddhist tradition. There's that of the stream-entrant. This is somebody who's bound for enlightenment. They've entered the stream that will sweep them to enlightenment. And if you do a search online for stream-entrant in Buddhism, you'll find all sorts of descriptions of the stream-entrant. How they're incapable of certain acts, how they're incapable of certain behaviour, how they've broken through certain fetters and so on. You might even read that they'll get to enlightenment within no more than 7 lifetimes. And they won't be reborn in any of the lower realms like the animals or the hungry ghosts or whatever. So you'll find lots of details about the stream-entrant. And beyond the stream-entrant is the once-returner. This means that you've only got one more life to go. No more than one more life. And then you'll get enlightened. And then you've got the non-returner. This is somebody who's not going to come back to this life, to this level of existence. They'll possibly be reborn in a higher heaven, maybe the Akanishta heaven, and they'll reach enlightenment from there. And then finally, you've got the stage of Arhatship. This is where you've made it. It's very wonderful, isn't it? And it's totally useless. What on earth is the point of these designations? The only point I can see is that it gives Buddhists something to talk about. So and so is a stream entrant. I've heard that so and so is a once returner. My teacher's an Arahat. That teacher is only a stream entrant. How useless is all that? It's difficult to see the point of such designations at all. They are clearly due to mental perturbation and bewildered states of mind. Of what use are such categories? Well, they can be of some practical use. When I was doing a bit of research, I've actually found quite a useful definition of a stream entrant. This is from the Diamond Sutra, which is a dialogue between Subhuti and the Buddha. The Buddha asks Subhuti, "Subhuti, what do you think?" The stream entrant is able to compose this thought, "I have attained the stream entrant's fruit." In other words, is the stream entrant somebody who realizes, I am now a stream entrant? No. Subhuti replied, "No, world-honoured one. What is the reason? Stream entrant is the name for entering the stream, and the brackets we've got of the holy life, for entering nowhere, not entering forms, sounds, odours, tastes, sensations, or dharmas. This is called stream entrant." In other words, this is somebody who's no longer engaging with conventional understanding of an external world. This is what we do as enlightenment practitioners. This is the first stage of enlightenment practice. We come back to realization. Now there are some definitions of the other terms here, but I'm not sure how useful they are. It might be worth looking at them another time. But since the stream entrant is about enlightenment practice, perhaps we can look at the other terms within the light of this understanding. The only use of such terms, the only use of the scriptures, is about reminding us to practice and getting us to look at our practice. So stream entrant is about remembering to practice and returning to practice, and practice here is realization. So we come back to that awareness which is described as mind only. And the question we can ask now, or at least observe, are we established in this? Is there anything blocking our realization? And I usually find that there is something blocking the success of my practice. And it's a very fundamental tone, a coloration, something is colouring it. It's a basic mood. And if I can remove or get beyond this, then I'm back to pure awareness. So I would describe this as once returning. Because there's just this one stage. Once this is removed, I'm back. So it's quite good to be aware of this, because sometimes I'm not as aware as I might believe that I am, or I'm not as established in this awareness as I might believe that I am. I might be established in a memory of it. A memory of it. So I have to look at this awareness as pure, as it's supposed to be, and know there's something a bit muddy there. So I'm not actually there or here. I'm one step removed from it. So this is the state of the once returner. And of the verses we've been looking at recently, one verse which I found very useful for getting beyond this is verse 108. Its rays of light move forward like a mass of fire. They who are bright-coloured, charming and auspicious, transform the triple world. It's a very beautiful verse, and it's very positive. So rather than get a little bit cantankerous about this block that's there, I can play around it. Be bright, allow the brightness to happen. Be charming with it. Have a sense of auspiciousness. And then I can once again be a non-returner. I'm in what verse 107 calls the highest station of Maheshvara, in the Akanishta heaven shining brightly. And at this point, I can return to what verse 107 calls self-realization and absolute purity. This is the stage of the Buddha. Now, some people might be wondering, am I claiming something for myself here? I'm not exactly a Buddha figure myself. Am I saying that I am enlightened? What's so special about me if I am enlightened? Where are the signs? What's so special? Why should anybody listen to me? I've not been endorsed by Oprah Winfrey. I haven't got a huge following. I'm not fabulously rich. I don't radiate enlightenment. I don't have a glorious smile beaming beneficence on everybody. So what am I saying? I'm talking about being a stream entrant. I'm not applying any of these terms to myself. I'm applying them to enlightenment practice. And if you followed previous videos, then you'll understand where I'm coming from here. I'm putting enlightenment practice into its proper perspective. This is what these verses are doing. I am using these terms to keep my own practice fresh. And it's the practice of realizing our own fundamental awareness, which does not take any kind of meditation. It does not take any kind of training, because it's always present. This awareness is always present. Otherwise you couldn't be hearing this or seeing this. It's everyday awareness. And realizing this everyday awareness, realizing its nature, is a cosmic event. I hope you have some success in this.